This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health. Dr. Joel Wallach. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Daily with Doc. Let's go ahead and open up that waiting room, let people in. And folks, if you are watching one of our live streams and you would like, or even one of our replays, okay, and you'd like to join us live, we are using Zoom as a platform for our live presentations, and you're welcome to join us and bring in health questions. If you have health questions that you'd like to have one of our guests answer, and hopefully it'd be, something in relationship to the topic of the day. You can join us by going to DailywithDocZoom.com. Again, DailywithDocZoom.com. My name is Becca Dukes, and as the hostess of this program and kind of I don't like to say leader of this group, but I guess that's kind of, I'm a captain of the group. Dr. Wallach says I'm a general, but he's at the top. So I'm okay with just being one of the captains and leading people to be empowered and have information that allows them to make choices that are on a more natural level through our diet, through nutrition. Because folks, the food that we have in the grocery stores does not have the nutrition that it used to have. So we must be intentional. Doesn't matter if it's organic. It doesn't matter if it's grown with or without pesticides. You always have to wash it, but don't depend on it to have all of the nutrients, especially the minerals that your body needs in order to thrive. So we're going to be helping people go from just barely surviving to thriving. And I feel confident in being able to present this because that's exactly what I was able to do through the recommendations of the doctor that we are hosting on today's program. Now, if somebody invited you to watch this program specifically, make sure that you get back with them. They cared enough about you to share this program. And if you found it on your own, or even if it was shared with you, and you can think of somebody else that this might be beneficial to, share it. Share this program with them. That's why we put these programs up, so that they can be watched over and over and over again, because we truly believe in the value of the message, and our hearts are to not just help ourselves, but as we are helping ourselves and helping our families find a better health journey, and we do that, we're helping communities find a better health journey. And because we are an international group of individuals, we're helping the world find a better health journey. So buckle up as we are in for another episode of Daily with Doc. This program is sponsored by Daily with Doc, and if you have questions that you would like to have answered, please email us questions@dailywithdoc.com. If you are currently on any of the products that are recommended on this program, or you're working with somebody, please make sure that you mention that as well, so that we can keep them in the loop and make sure that we are giving information that will lead you back to them to get the products that you need. Now, we are a resource for an amazing group of individuals, coaches, health advocates, just people who love on people and want to see them better. So we want to make sure that we maintain the integrity of our community. Now, without further ado, it is my honor and privilege to introduce to you the man that actually, well, God saved my life, but the man that physically saved me, that I believe that God led me to find the information about and be empowered, not be a slave to a system that was continually failing me and pushing me off to pain management because there was nothing that they could do for me. And I just kept having what pharmacist Ben calls MBFA. My body is falling apart syndrome. Yeah, the information that I heard from this doctor that we have with us today has given me my life back. I can actually enjoy playing with my grandkids where it was not pleasurable at all because of the pain to play with my own kids, their parents. So folks, if you can find yourself in that situation where you just feel too old or you're too young to feel this old, or you have so many things going on within your body that the doctors can't figure out why, well, doctors can't fix anything. But the way your body was designed, your body can do some amazing things. So sit back, let's talk about blood sugar. And Dr. Wallach, there are so many different conditions that are associated with low blood sugar. And there's actually more associated with low blood sugar than high blood pressure or blood sugar. And we really only think about high blood sugar because of, for lack of a better word, diabetes. So Dr. Wallach, let's talk about blood sugar. Let's talk about, what happens within the body. And folks, I forgot to tell a few important things that really shed some confidence in the doctor that we have on with us, Dr. Joel Wallach. So Dr. Wallach, he was able to help himself as a young child through nutrition, pull himself out of what we would probably consider now extreme autism, with behavioral issues, inability to focus, inability to be able to socialize with other people. And we have so many kids that are like that today. Well, Dr. Wallach has given me hope, and so many others hope, that our kiddos can grow up to make a huge impact in the world and be a successful participant in this thing we call life. Because he played sports, he was part of Boy Scouts, he went through all of the different badges, he was lettered in varsity and in multiple different sports. He went on to go to college and work his way through college in the pathology lab. And through what he discovered in that time and the reports that he read or wrote actually got him part of the expedition to save the white rhino because of his work as a student in the pathology lab. And it got him working in zoos around the world, saving species of animals. And from that got him into working for NASA at the Yerkes Primate Center, working with the monkeys and finding one of the first non-human cases of cystic fibrosis, which was said to be a human genetic disease. Not only did he find the first case, but he also found the cause of it. He also, in addition to the cause, found the solution. So folks, when you take a disease that's been said to be genetic, said to be human, and you find it in something that is not human, and then you prove that it is not genetic, and you also provide a solution that worked through nutrition, and then you add on to that 3 postdoctorates in pathology on different situations around the world, including 1,700 children under the age of 10 that died from SIDS. There's no warning. Babies just dying, and the mothers were not lying on them. Folks, it's time to open up your ears and look at alternatives, because you're not chemical deficient. Chances are you're nutrient deficient, with what he has discovered to be over 600 different poor health conditions being directly linked to nutritional deficiencies, including blood sugar. So, Dr. Wallach, let's talk about blood sugar. Why is it so important?
Well, sugar is a fuel. We need fuel, and we can use blood sugar, but like everything else, you can overdo it. And if you make too much, or you make the wrong kind, or you don't have the equipment to utilize the blood sugar, and people don't realize, they say, well, I don't use any sugar. Well, what do you eat as a carbohydrate with your food? Well, I eat rice. Well, your body turns the rice into sugar. Okay. You eat fruit. Oh, yeah, I eat apples and pears and oranges and grapefruit and stuff. Well, that turns into sugar. Okay, you don't have to eat sugar out of a can, kind of thing, but your body's going to convert to sugar. So we spent a lot of time and effort going around the world, and we found what different communities have learned over literally thousands of years, what to use to manage blood sugar issues. Now, one of the things that people don't think much about is their thyroid gland. So one of the things I have, which is unusual for blood sugar, is a product, okay, which we call, let's see here, Ocean's Gold. And Ocean's Gold is made from seaweed. Okay, and it has the minerals in it that help your body control blood sugar. So I take 3 of these twice a day, Ocean's Gold, okay? And then, of course, we have one of Rebecca's favorites, one of my favorites. Okay, it's the Glucogenics. Again.
Oh, you do have one. Fantastic, Doc.
Yep. And I take 2 or 3 of those twice a day. And that helps manage blood sugar. And then my favorite is Sweeties. The Sweeties, okay, has the 2 basic minerals that are required by the body to manage blood sugar. Okay, and I'm not going to name them because everybody will run out to the store and buy those 2 minerals, and they're not going to work because you need all the other stuff that goes with it. So this is a complete program, Sweeties. I take 2 or 3 of these twice a day. I'm going to eat rice twice in a day. I'll take 2 or 3 of these 3 times a day, the Sweeties. And then we have another one, De-Stress. De-Stress is a very, very interesting product. And of course, when you have high blood sugar, when you have something called diabetes, you're under stress. You have very low blood sugar, you're under stress. So the De-Stress capsules, okay, actually help your body manage blood sugar and keep it in the functional range. Keep it in the functional range, okay? It's a De-Stress. So I take 2 or 3 of these twice a day, De-Stress. And then, of course, I have several different multiples. I have the Ultimate Daily, big yellow tablets. I take 3 of those twice a day. I take the Ultimate Daily Classic, okay, which helps with blood sugar, but it also helps with blood pressure and blood flow through blocked arteries and that kind of stuff. And then the last thing I want to talk about, and I could go on and on and on, is the, let's see here, it's the Rebound or sports drink. And most energy drinks are sugar. This is nutrition. Okay, this goes into one of these bottles of water, and no sugar, no carbonation. And I'll drink one of these a day. If I'm going to be doing heavy exercise, I'll do maybe 2 of these a day. Okay, and let's see here.
Dr. Wallach.
Yeah.
Two things that I'd like to, excuse me for my interruption, but there's two things that I'd like to ask you.
Okay.
One of them, how is it that these recommendations can work in the body if you take them to help control blood sugar?
Well,
Why would just nutrition control blood sugar?
okay. Why does your car engine run well when it has the stuff in your battery?
Oh, battery.
Why does your blood, excuse me, why does your engine run well when you have all the good stuff in the radiator? You have to
Okay.
have all these other sources that support systems that actually have some impact on blood sugar levels, blood sugar utilization, storing excess blood sugar as fat. It converts it into fat and saves it till another day when you don't get sugar. It'll break down the fat into a little bit of blood sugar, so you have energy that works very easily. And so there's multiple systems involved here with sugar. And you really don't have to take sugar because your body makes it from food. You can make sugar from steak. You have the equipment in your body to make
Too
sugar from
much,
steak.
yeah, too much protein will convert to sugar.
Yes.
So I understand that. Now, the next part of my question, Dr. Wallach, what about the 90 essential nutrients and where does that fit in? So like the tangy tangerine or the Osteo FX, which the liquid is my favorite, or the EFA plus. So how those are the foundation of
Another one,
the
right?
90 essential nutrients in the
Plant-derived
start pack.
minerals.
And then the plant-derived minerals, which the plant-derived minerals are in the tangy tangerine.
There you go.
So they are in,
Yeah.
and
So these minerals, when you look at the essential nutrients we need to function, to get a 100 on your grade card, okay, you want to take, let's see here, 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 minutes to 3 fatty acids. That's what we need just to function properly. And you get things thrown at you, and you go to grandma and she cooks all this wonderful food, and it's not perfect because it's made out of food she got from this store and that store and so forth. And you don't know what they use for fertilizer. If they did use fertilizer, did they only use 3 minerals or did they use 60 minerals? You don't know. Okay.
mm-hmm.
And so you do have to pay attention to this. And so this is why when we first started, we started doing hair analysis. And people ask me, well, how did you know all this? Well, I'm doing all these autopsies, these big, $12 million grant to do autopsies, $20 million
Right.
grants to do autopsies. And so we're doing hair analysis on the bodies and finding out what minerals they were nutritionally deficient in, what minerals they had excesses of, and how that impacted the diseases they had, and if it contributed, if the lack of something or the excess of something contributed to their diseases and death. And this is why we're different in other places. I say, oh yeah, well, we give you vegetables, we give you protein, and we give you carbohydrates. And they really don't understand what they're doing. They really don't put it all together. We've spent literally millions of dollars putting all this together. And it was grants from the National Institutes of Health. Okay, that was a big one, $12 million there. 10-year study with Marlon Perkins, the old Mutual Omaha Wild Kingdom show. And I was working, as a part-time employee with him at the zoo and on his regular TV program. And he's the one who
And
said,
this book,
there you go. That
this book
came
right
out of
here
that.
is the result of that work that you did in those 10
That's
years.
correct. That's correct. And that represents, let's see, it was 30,000 human autopsies and 17,000.
So this was prior to the human. So this was just the animals, Doc.
Yeah, yes.
With over 452 different species of
Yes.
animals.
Yes.
And then you added in the humans. Yeah, we're definitely an animal. But folks, this is the diseases of exotic animals, medical and surgical management. This is a book that Dr. Wallach, this is his thesis. And it is held in the Smithsonian Museum in Washington, D.C. as a national treasure. So I think it's pretty special, Dr. Wallach, that we get to host a national treasure and the author of a national treasure on Daily with Doc, where you have been published probably in the biggest way right here.
And you can
And
still
that's
find them. You
only
can
the
go
beginning. You've
online.
got 20, huh?
You
What
can
was that?
go online and say, I want to buy one of these books, A Disease of Exotic Animals, Dr. Joel Wallach. Are there any available? And they'll pop up 2 or 3 of them that are available. They'll tell you the prices and so forth, and how to connect and to order them and so forth. I just warn you, sit down, ask for the prices.
It was the most expensive book that I have ever and will ever purchase, Doc.
Yeah.
Okay. Just saying. So my partner and I found the value in getting this book. So one, I could show it on the screen, and 2, be able to have it as the history that goes into what has helped us. And that has to do with proper nutrition. Now, Dr. Wallach, we have a question. What does blood sugar have to do with metabolic syndrome? Now, before you answer that, let me go through a couple things that are said to be because of blood sugar. So you've got low blood sugar, hypoglycemia, some of the symptoms that go with that: excessive sweating, tiredness, lightheadedness, feeling dizzy and weak, being pale. A sudden feeling of excessive hunger, increased heart rate, blurred vision, confusion, irritable or nervous, nightmares, crying in sleep, excessive sweating as to dampen your clothes while sleeping, feeling tired, irritated, confused after waking up, convulsions or seizures, delirium, fainting, loss of consciousness. Now, these are all just associated with low blood sugar. Now, the ones that we're most commonly aware of have to do with the high blood sugar, which are heart disease or heart attack, stroke, kidney damage, nerve damage, eye damage, skin problems, polycystic ovarian syndrome, high testosterone levels in women. I mean, all of these different things. And as Dr. Wallach is holding up these 2 books, The Metabolic Syndrome and Hell's Kitchen, Dr. Wallach has been talking about the metabolic syndrome since 2004 when he wrote Hell's Kitchen. Just about 3-4 weeks ago, we sent this one to the publisher. We got it back in a very short amount of time. So we had it in time for Contact in the Desert, which was the last weekend of, I guess it'd be the first weekend of June, started the last day. But as I go through this, Dr. Wallach, we've got blood sugar issues, hypertension, low blood sugar, prediabetes, hyperinsulinemia, learning disabilities, hyperactivity, depression, manic depression, bipolar disease, protein loss, things about the cholesterol, plaque within the arteries, infertility, and a shortened lifespan. So there is a little bit of overlap there.
Yeah, sugar is one of your worst enemies.
So tell us, how is it that blood sugar is like a major thing that has to do with the metabolic syndrome? Because it's not just blood sugar that affects metabolic syndrome, but it is a pretty significant part, right?
Yes. So here's an example. What if you don't have any oil in your car? You don't have any thing in the radiator, okay, to lower temperature in the water going through the engine, okay, your engine, car engine, and yet you're burning gasoline for fuel, and you got the engines hot, but you don't have any of the equipment or the substances to control the heat, you're going to burn your engine up. The same way is true
Yeah.
with blood sugar. Blood sugar can be utilized in small amounts as a fuel for emergencies and things like that. You can pull it out. You can pull it out of your body fat and convert the body fat into sugar, and you can use it. And you can run away from the lion chasing you and that kind of stuff. But when you get too much sugar, okay, that's like putting something bad in your gas tank of your car.
Mhm.
Same
It's not
principle.
going to run very good, whether it's sugar or in the gasoline or sand in the gasoline, anything. So is the gasoline like the blood?
Gasoline's like the blood.
Okay, so if the gas is not right, everything within the system is not going to function right.
That's
And if
correct.
there's not oil, which would be like additional nutrition, things are not going to function right.
That's correct.
I mean, you have too much oil, you're still going to have problems. So,
And you have to have the ability to keep your body temperature in the normal range so everything can function, because everything is based on ideal temperature, ideal fluids, ideal protein, ideal sugar, ideal this. And if you have all the ideal stuff, you're going to live to be 200. But if you have only 10% of the ideal stuff, or in some cases 0% of the ideal stuff, or maybe you'll have 1,000% of the ideal stuff, which is way too much. Okay, so these are all things you have to be concerned with on an hour-to-hour, day-to-day, year-to-year basis.
so if I heard you right, if you have too much, you could actually like burn out some parts of your body. You're overexerting yourself. You're
That's correct.
overtaxing on vitamins.
That's
So definitely have to have the balance there, Dr. Wallach. I'm so glad that you mentioned that. So nutrition is super important,
Yes.
right?
And of course, you've heard of the Garden of Eden, the land flowing with milk
Yep.
and honey. These are places that were enriched with glacial milk, not cow's milk. The land flowing with milk and honey was glacial milk. And when you go back 2,000 years, 4,000 years, 5,000 years, those are the people who lived to be 200. Those are the people who lived to be 400 in the Bible and so forth. They were living in the land flowing with milk and honey. Now, you could be eating the same recipe and you're, say, 100 miles away from that land flowing with milk and honey, but eating the same recipe, the same cake, the same bread, the same pudding, the same soup, and you die at 20 because it only had 3
Because the
minutes.
ingredients, so the ingredients are not pulled from the same area where the nutrition is rich in the area that it's grown in. Is that
That's correct.
what I'm understanding?
That's correct.
All right. Well, Harry, he made a comment saying that the blood runs through every cell. Water is in every cell. So we also need to stay hydrated.
That's correct.
Which I love the fact that the tangy tangerine, you mix in water. It gives you extra hydration throughout the day. Lots of things that Longevity has put together in their formulas gets mixed with water, and that does support that hydration factor as well. And folks, for those of you who don't know, Dr. Wallach is the founder of a company called Longevity. Now, it started out as American Longevity, but when they were trying to go beyond the borders of the United States proper, the other countries didn't quite like that it was American Longevity, so they came up with the word Youngevity. And folks, we can absolutely stay young longer. And I love that name, Dr. Wallach. Since the start of the company Longevity, Dr. Wallach has removed himself from the ownership and the running of it. He's turned the reins over to his son and daughter-in-law, where they now run the company. And Dr. Wallach has separated himself so that he can promote his books. He can promote the whole idea of using nutrition without people being able to say, well, you're only saying that so that you can make a buck off of selling this nutrition. That is not true, because he wants to be able to freely say, take this. And he's saying it not because he's making a dollar of it, but it's because he believes in the significance and the impact that the nutrition can make on your life as well. And I believe in it because it's exactly what it did for me. So,
let me
Dr.
just
Wallach, you've
insert
got a
something
great
there.
mission.
Let me insert something there,
Mhm.
because you've been saying it perfectly. And it's just like the land flowing with milk and honey. The good Lord made places like that, okay? And when you see that it's actually a chemical event, you can reproduce that in every farm, okay? And this is why we came up with the plant-derived minerals, and you can put them in your garden. And of course, as you pointed out, I got rid of cystic fibrosis. It's supposed to be, you know, a genetic disease in humans. No, I got rid of, let's see here, muscular dystrophy, curious kids. Okay, I got rid of that by using what we use to get rid of white muscle disease in calves. I started giving that to my classmates in school that had muscular dystrophy. Their muscular dystrophy go away. Okay, and then of course we also had sudden death syndrome, SIDS, and doctors were blaming the mothers laying on the babies and suffocating them. No, they were dying of sudden heart death. And my attorney, Jonathan Emore, and I, we sued the FDA 8 times in federal court to get these nutrients put into baby formulas to end cystic fibrosis, to end muscular dystrophy, to end sudden death syndrome. And we prevailed each time, 8 times. And that's why you don't hear about those things much anymore. You know, you'll get a rare case. You're not getting 800 to 1,000 cases a month like we used to get. Now you get maybe 1 case a year, 2 cases a year, something like that, because the parents are just going to the grocery store and buying a quart of milk and giving it to the baby instead of one of these formulas with all the nutrients in it. And so we're very, very proud of that. And now the newest one is the metabolic syndrome, which is the add-on to Hell's Kitchen. The one at Hell's Kitchen came out in 2005. And we've been collecting information ever since then. And we put it all together in the metabolic syndrome. And the metabolic syndrome goes back 2,000, 4,000, 6,000 years ago. It's not new. They had no earthly idea what it was, but it was a killer, okay? And so once we've figured out what it was, and we could keep the bad stuff away and just make sure that they were getting all the things they needed to manage the good stuff. You know, you got to even manage the good stuff, because you can take too much good stuff. So you have to manage the good stuff. And so when you have metabolic syndrome, you have abdominal obesity, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, and heart disease. And then there's a plethora, there's a whole list of diseases that are accompanying the metabolic syndrome. And we can get rid of all those with just a little bit of supplementation. And so we're so proud of that. Okay, just look at that picture. That one guy, there's what?
Yep.
6 different humans in there. The one at the end, okay.
I got it for you, Doc.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
got all 6 of them real close.
Yeah, he's got a big belly, abdominal obesity, diabetes, and the high blood pressure. He's got the metabolic syndrome. That's a classic. It's a classic, you know, in America. And of course, that's because we have a lot of good things. We have, in fact, too many good things sometimes. And one of the big things we have is we have time on our hands, and we have access to things that cause this.
Yes.
Abdominal
So that's
obesity.
right. Well,
This is one of the major factors of metabolic syndrome, abdominal obesity.
and Dr. Wallach does go through the different major things of metabolic syndrome. So metabolic syndrome itself is a cluster of symptoms.
That's correct.
So you have multiple different poor health symptoms. And when you have those, they have put those together in what is called the metabolic syndrome. That's something that I myself have been able to completely overcome. So I'm very thankful for that, Dr. Wallach. And it's because of finding the value and the right nutrition. I was doing a lot of vitamins before finding you, a lot. And I never felt a difference. And I did them for decades. But whenever I found your company, I've heard one of your messages on the radio. So I am very thankful for radio. And I'm very excited that we are still syndicated on some radio stations. And we're looking to be even more abundant on the radio platform again, Dr. Wallach. So I am working with some people in high places of radio and working on getting this program redistributed throughout the different radio stations. So I'm super excited for that.
Well, we're very excited because you are one of the angels of God. The good Lord has to have angels on earth to carry out his desire. He can't run around and deal with 10 million people.
Well, he could. God could do anything and everything he wants. I love the fact that he sees value in his creation and allowing them to have free will, free choice, and also giving them the opportunity to use the talents that they have been given in order to help others. And that's where I feel that I've been called to do what I do. So,
well said.
and part of that is helping you.
Welcome to the team.
Thank you, Dr. Wallach. Thank you very much. So we have some questions. And if you're here live with us and you'd like to ask a question, feel free to raise your hand and we will be going through and answering questions in the order that their hands are received. We also have questions that have come in through email. So I have my co-hosts that have an eye on email. Uh-oh, where are you going, Doc? Oh, you're getting your rebound. All right. Well, I want you to stay hydrated. Okay.
Yep.
We gotta keep you hydrated. That's for sure. And hydration with purpose and intentional supplementation is probably one of the best things about rebound, because not only does it give you the nutrition to be healthy as far as your mind and continuing to go, but it also has the nutrition that supports bone health and joint health. It's not the full amounts that are needed with the 90 essential nutrients, but there's a lot of nutrients in there, Dr. Wallach, to keep people going strong.
Yeah, we actually made this for Theo Ratas. His career in basketball was over. And we actually made this for Theo. And to make a long story short, with this and the Healthy Start Pack, the rebound, he came back just 3 months later. He got his position back. So they took it away from him because he had arthritis and he couldn't play anymore. In 11 years, he made $100 million in contracts after we rebuilt him. Do you think he loves this? He's going
I think, yeah, I think he might like the rebound, which is why his face is on the canister. But I think he likes you even more, Doc. So
we're definitely buddies.
You were the one that was very instrumental in getting him back on the court and being able to do what he does. And now he has such a heart for kids and families that he's taken what he's done through basketball, and also he is a longevity distributor, and what he has made through his commissions working for longevity, because we are not for longevity. We are independent distributors of longevity products. So we are independent business owners, and the efforts that we put into it is how we reap the benefits through commissions to be able to continue to do what we do and thrive and support our families. And when you get to the point where you go beyond supporting your family, you go into being able to help others through your charitable donations. It's just, there's no greater thing, Dr. Wallach, than to be able to help somebody find better health in their health journey, and then also support those that are doing good and helping communities where there is a need. So it's absolutely fantastic.
Well said, dear.
Well, Dr. Wallach, one of the questions that we have today, now it may or may not be related to blood sugar. Okay. So there's something called Haglund's deformity. It's a bony growth on the heel or bone. It's, is it calcaneus? Where your Achilles,
Calcaneus?
Calcaneus, where your Achilles tendon attaches. The growth causes a bump that you can see and feel through the skin. And the deformity can cause heel pain, especially when you're wearing shoes that press tightly against the back of your heel. So, Doc, what would cause a bony deformity on the heel? And of course, we don't really know how old this individual is. Oh, yeah, maybe we do.
Well,
yes, we do. So 58 years old, 5'11", 169 pounds. So definitely not overweight. He says that the Achilles really hurts. The ankles are really swollen and painful. And he's a runner. So, I can't imagine running with something that is so painful, Doc. What would your recommendation?
Okay, what part of your body do you use when you're a runner?
Well, you run your feet, your legs, your ankles, your hips,
Ankles, your knees, your hips, and your back. Okay. And
I mean, it's everything's connected.
That's why it's showing up there, because that's what he likes to do. He likes to run. And so the tissues in those areas are being stressed because they're not getting all the nutrients he needs. So he needs to get rid of all the bad stuff. Do we know how much he weighs?
169 pounds.
169. Okay. 169. Okay. So he's getting rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no bologna, salami, pastrami, pepperoni, jerky, ham, bacon, hot dogs, all that's got to go. No gluten, no wheat, butter, and oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go because carbonation neutralizes stomach acid, so you cannot digest food or absorb minerals. And then at 169 pounds, he needs 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, full dose everything twice a day. He needs 2 bottles a month of our Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. So take 3 of those twice a day, and that's going to help him get blood flow into his muscles and his bones and all that kind of stuff. And then he needs the glucogel. I want him to have 3 of those at breakfast, straight lunch, or at dinner time. They're going to help rebuild cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, bone matrix, bone marrow, and all that kind of stuff. Okay. And then for the minerals, he needs Caltati.
Okay. So there's osteo effects in the brain and heart pack. So do you think more calcium and magnesium are required?
Yeah, he needs more than the basics.
All right. Well, how about the MSM Ultra? That helps to reduce inflammation.
Yeah, he can have the MSM Ultra. Also the CM cream on his ankles, his heels, and so forth. And we deal with all of these things constantly with athletes all over the world, whether they're professional or backyard athletes. Okay, and these things are all repairable. Just essentially, that's what Theo Ratas had. We rebuilt him.
He had the bone on bone, and he had breaking bones.
Yep.
Yeah, so he was kind of falling apart from the skeletal side of things, and then also the connective tissue. So, all right. So, Mickey, there is your recommendations from Dr. Wallach to help with the deformity that is.
And then also, rebuilding and maintenance. And then, of course, if he's going to continue to run all that kind of stuff, he needs the
Absolutely. And one thing, Dr.
Rebound.
Wallach, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because as we exercise, especially when you're running and even if you're running in a cold spot, you start sweating. You're not sweating out just water, you're sweating out those minerals. Rebound is one of the next to, I think next to Beyond Tangy Tangerine, or maybe right there, Tide, is the absolute best electrolyte drink that you can drink on any market. And that's what Dr. Wallach has in his cup. I've got the Tangy Tangerine here. I have a scoop of that every day. And it just keeps everything functioning. So which is really important when you've got stairs to walk every day.
Yeah,
So
not too bad for 85.
yep, not too bad for 85, that's for sure. Or 53, Doc. Okay. I'm aging backwards.
Well,
I'm aging backwards. So we have another question, Dr. Wallach, and they would like for you to touch on how high cholesterol and low electrolytes play a role in the metabolic syndrome. He stumbled across you and his products and wants to say, God bless both of you and everyone helping. So thank you to the broiler out on YouTube. So when we're talking about metabolic syndrome, looking at the high cholesterol and low electrolytes, which electrolytes are minerals,
yes, that's
right?
correct.
So
Electrolytes
how do they
include
play,
salt. Mhm.
how do they play a part in metabolic syndrome, Doc?
Well, when you have too much of something or not enough of something, the equipment doesn't run right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so you have ranges. And that's why doctors take a blood test and they have ranges for iron and for copper and for calcium and for phosphorus and magnesium and all this kind of stuff. There's ranges. You get out of it too high, you get out of it too low, there's something serious going on because your body's working day and night to keep everything in those ranges, optimal ranges. Okay, and the good Lord set it up that way. And that's why, you hear going back 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years ago, more, the land flowing with milk and honey.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. What was the famous gardens where people
The
lived?
Garden of Eden.
The Garden of Eden. Very good. You get an A+. Okay. The Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden was just kind of another version of land flowing with milk and honey, just a different country. So they called it a different thing. It was the same principle as the land flowing with milk and honey. The Garden of Eden was the same principle. Now, you could have a twin who lived maybe 100 miles away, eating exactly the same recipes. And they died at 25, and you lived to be 200. You're identical twins. How'd that happen? Well, the ones who died at 25 lived in a place that didn't have all the nutrients in the soil and the water because it didn't have the glacial milk in there. Whereas the ones who are getting the glacial milk, now you can also get glacial milk with 3 minerals, you get glacial milk with 6 minerals, you get glacial milk with 10 minerals, you get glacial milk with 50 minerals, you get glacial milk with 75 minerals, you get glacial milk with 100 minerals. And so that's why we have this, okay? Okay.
Plant-derived minerals.
Plant-derived minerals, and they're listed on the back. I think they never have less than 75, the plant minerals.
And these are micro, macro, and trace, if I'm correct, right?
That's correct.
So being intentional and making sure that your body is getting the minerals that it needs in order to survive. And one thing, Dr. Wallach, that I tried to do is to get all of these different nutrients that I heard were supposed to be good for me based on the symptoms that I had. Well, I was taking this, I was taking this, I was taking this. I had no idea if they worked together. I found out that many of them only had between 8 and 26% absorption, and that was a good digestive system. I did not have a good digestive system, so I was probably getting quite a bit less. I also considered and thought about often is, are they working together? And how much do I need of each in order to be able to make sure that I'm getting the right amounts? And that's one of the biggest things that I love about longevity, Dr. Wallach, is the formulas are put together by people that know what they're doing. They've got those ratios in there of all the different nutrients
Yeah.
into the
Billions,
formulas that
billions of dollars have been spent identifying those
figuring it out.
relationships. Billions, from universities and all kinds of research institutes and everything. So it's not that we don't know these. One of my favorites is Herbal Rainforest. It's 15
Yep.
15 herbs that support healthy blood function and so forth. And it's got 75 minerals in it. And so, I take an ounce of that every morning.
Well, and it helps to detoxify the body.
Yeah, that's the herbs. The herbs do that. Yeah.
Yeah. And with, not being in complete control of the food that we're consuming because we're not growing it ourselves, who knows what's in it? So it's okay to continually be cleansing the body and detoxifying the body. Is that correct, Doc?
That's correct. And of course, when you're buying, say, a cabbage from the grocery store, does it have 3 minerals in it? It's going to have at least 3 minerals because that's what they need. So it has 3 minerals,
Magnesium,
5 minerals,
potassium.
20 minerals, 80 minerals, you don't know. And so if
Right.
you take what you know you need in addition to your cabbage, okay, then that's the smart thing to do. And if you want to, once every year, you can do a hair analysis and see if you're getting too much of something or not enough of something. And a hair analysis will tell you that. And of course, we have that available. And of course, our book, Rare Earths Forbidden Cures, that's one of my favorites because there you go, because it goes into hair analyses and how you can take that information and add 25 to 50 health years to your life by the information you get from a hair analysis.
And you can find information on how to get hair analysis. And this is done by a company that Dr. Wallach and Dr. Milan have used for many, many years in chapter 10. And the price has not changed, Dr. Wallach, since its last printing, or even the printing before that. Last printing was in 2018 when you updated it. Prior to that was 2011, and I have seen that book. The price was $100 for a hair analysis, folks. I mean, you can't go and get blood work done without one going to the doctor to do it. In most cases, they are coming around where you can do your self-referrals for blood work, but not on everything. So make sure that you get the book, Rare Earths Forbidden Cures, and you can find all of Dr. Wallach's publications by going to drjwallach.com. That's drjwallach.com to see it. You can also, if you feel more comfortable than using the internet, you can use their phone number, 800-755-4656, and that will reach the staff at Wellness Publications, where you can place your order as well. Now, Dr. Wallach, we have a distributor on with us, and we've got some really amazing distributors with really great questions. This question is from Donna, and this is one that I have come across myself. And the question is, how do we as distributors calm the client that reads on that plant-derived minerals arsenic? So arsenic is one of the minute trace minerals that are listed in the plant-derived minerals. I thought arsenic was like toxic poison.
Well, if you get too much oxygen, it's poison. Arsenic has a place in making red blood cells in your bone marrow, okay? But it only takes a little bit. You don't need a lot, okay? So, and in the old days, they would use it for poison for rats in the barn and all that kind of stuff, and so on. And so the arsenic got a bad name. But oxygen, too much oxygen can kill you. Too much iron can kill you, okay? And so all of these have ranges. And so this is why people look at our analyses of some of our pucks. You got arsenic in there, Wallach? Well, yeah, but it's like 0.00001%, and you need a little bit, okay? It's an essential nutrient in small doses, okay? And so now if it was 5%, it would kill you, okay? And so we don't give you 5% arsenic. We only give you 0.0
0.00. Yeah.
0.0001%.
And there is a third party that does analysis on each and every batch.
That's correct.
Especially of the plant-derived minerals and the tangy tangerine.
It's for safety.
And the arsenic for safety. I mean, they have invested in this third-party testing for us to make sure that we are getting what's on the outside. So whatever's on the outside, they're confirming through third-party testing, it's on the inside as well. And they're making sure that those ratios are accurate and correct for our own safety. So folks, if we answered one of your questions on today's show and it was sent to us by an email, please make sure if you're working with somebody to get back with the person that shared this program with you, the way that you were able to find us, get back with that individual, and they will help you get what Dr. Wallach recommended. And one of the biggest advantages of being on the live Zoom with us is we have some amazing talent when it comes to typing and dictation. And if I could get my co-hosts on the screen with us, that would be absolutely fantastic, because they each have talents that they bring to this team. First one being Marilyn. She is on with us today. She's the one that's doing the typing, the dictation into the chat. So whatever Dr. Wallach recommends, she is typing that out, putting it in the chat so that the individuals who are live here with us they can do a screenshot, take a picture of it with their camera, and then take that to the individual that they're working with, their health coach, to make sure that they get what Dr. Wallach has recommended. And Dr. Wallach's recommendations are the optimal ultimate, folks, at helping you get to better health journey the absolute fastest way possible. So there's a lot that can be done, and even little tweaks, Dr. Wallach, even following the good foods, bad foods list, which we have posted on the back of the metabolic syndrome, can make a huge difference just adding it with the 90 essential nutrients and then adding 1 or 2. I know I didn't take the kitchen sink, Dr. Wallach, because one, I couldn't afford it. Now I can. So as I'm teaching what you recommend.
You're one of the co-authors. You're one of the co-authors of the book Metabolic Syndrome. So very proud of you.
I am. Yes, I am. And I'm very honored, Dr. Wallach, that you allowed me to be part of that, because this was a big part of my healing journey. And I do share about that in the book as well, under the About section. So thank you, Dr. Wallach, for having faith and trusting in me to be able to help put this together. I appreciate you.
Thank you very kind.
And thank you. We also have Albert, who's joining us from South Africa and helping to let people in and keeping an eye on things, which we greatly appreciate this. And this just goes to prove that, folks, it doesn't matter where you are. If you have contact with people, if you have a way to either make a phone call to the Longevity corporate office or internet to place orders, you can work your business no matter where you are. And for those places that Longevity does not deliver directly to, there's things called U.S. shippers. You can get creative. It may cost a little bit more, but there are, where there's a will, there's a way. We also have Ruth Ellen. Ruth Ellen is my executive production manager, and she is running the stream, and everything looked like it went well today. So I was super excited to be able to hand that off to her and helping as I was doing the hosting and making sure everything was being sent out in the right place. So thank you, Ruth Ellen. And we have Sherry. She's part of our technical team as well, helping get everything set up with the different streams. And we have AJ, who is also a big part of our technical team and setting up the different accounts and making sure that we're connected with whatever platform you are watching us on now. So let us know where you're at. We love to know the reach of our program, and don't forget to share it with somebody. You did not hear this just to go in one ear and out the other. Somebody that you know is dealing with blood sugar issues. Share this program with them. Allow them to have the opportunity to be empowered and make choices to help themselves find a better health journey. And if you're referring people, make sure to get back with the person that referred you. Say, hey, I want a thank you check too for helping others find a better health journey. A lot of people think, oh, I don't need a thank you check. But even if it's not to make money, but to help pay for your own, that can be impactful in helping others as well. So until next time, my name is Becca Dukes. Thank you so much for joining us here on Daily with Doc. If you have even the remote interest of being part of the team or becoming a certified holistic health coach, make sure you go to coachwithdoc.com. That's coachwithdoc.com and get more information about becoming a certified holistic health coach. If you have the book Metabolic Syndrome, we have that information also on the inside cover of the book with a picture of some of our very first graduates from the Institute of Holistic Health and two of the co-founders, and one of them is sitting right next to me, at least on Zoom, of the Institute. So everybody, have a fantastic day. Be empowered. And until next time, bye for now.
Bye-bye. All is funny best, Lacqueray.
Bye, Doc.
Bye.
This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health. Dr. Joel Wallach. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health. Dr. Joel Wallach. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health. Dr. Joel Wallach.